The Galactic Council chamber glows with shifting lights as alien delegates from 100 worlds gather expecting to witness another young species bending the knee. The chamber itself is an ancient construction carved from living stone, yet infused with technology so advanced that entire civilizations could not understand its making. It rises like a cathedral into the endless sky of a world long considered the center of interstellar law. The air hums with energy fields that hold the structure together, and the seats curve upward in tiers so high that the faces of some delegates vanish into shadow. Every race has sent its voice to this place, the scaled warlords from the burning deserts of rock, Thun, the crystalline thinkers from the ice, oceans of Veil, the ancient beings of light who drift in shapes that bend the eye, and even the insectoid hive queens whose whispers echo across a dozen minds at once. They have all come to witness the entrance of humanity, the newest species to stumble into the stars for the council. This is routine. Countless times before, a young race has been summoned to stand at the heart of this chamber. Every time the pattern is the same: awe, shock, then relief when the council offers guidance in return for obedience. The new species bows and accepts its place within the web of laws that bind the galaxy together today. The seats are filled with quiet anticipation. Some voices murmur about Earth, a backwater world with primitive wars and fragile bodies. Some laugh at the thought that such creatures could survive without the council. Others argue that humans are unpredictable, too dangerous to be left without oversight. Yet none doubt the ending they all expect, because it has never gone otherwise. Then the chamber darkens as the floor opens and the human delegation rises into view, carried on a platform of light. The chamber falls silent as they emerge, not stumbling, not awestruck, but walking with steady, measured steps that carry them forward. With unsettling calm, they wear simple clothing, formal by their standards, but plain compared to the jeweled armor of the rock Thun, or the shimmering robes of the Veil. Yet in that simplicity there is a quiet defiance, as if they have come not to beg but to be heard. The alien delegates lean forward, their eyes glittering in curiosity. Some expect trembling voices and desperate appeals for safety. Others imagine wide-eyed reverence at the sight of 1,000 civilizations united, but none see what stands before them. The humans' eyes steady, jaws set, shoulders firm. They look not like supplicants but like equals. A whisper runs through the chamber, a ripple of unease that spreads from row to row. The council has seen many things across countless centuries, but rarely has it seen a species walk into this chamber without fear. The silence grows heavy. It presses on every mind in the room, as if the humans have brought with them an invisible weight, and for the first time in ages the council feels uncertain. Whispers ripple through the crowd when the humans enter, not with fear or awe, but with calm, measured steps that unsettle even the most ancient races. The chamber is used to hesitation. It is used to trembling voices and wide eyes fixed upon the grandeur of the council. Many races had fallen to their knees at this very threshold, unable to comprehend the sheer scale of the moment. Yet the humans stride as though they are walking into a hall built by their own hands. Their movements are deliberate and slow, each step echoing in the silence like a challenge. The Rock-Soon warlords shift in their armored seats, their scaled faces curling into sneers, for they respect only strength, and to see such fragile beings walk without bowing feels almost insulting to them. The crystalline thinkers from Veil tilt their angular heads, their minds racing to predict what kind of species dares to break patterns set across millennia, and in the upper tiers the luminous beings of the Oriath glow brighter, as if their light itself is uneasy. It is not only the stillness of the humans that unsettles the council, but also their gaze. They do not look downward or upward, they look directly into the faces of those who watch them, unflinching, as if daring the assembly to judge them. The insectoid hive queens twitch their antennae, sensing emotions in the air, yet the humans release none of the fear or reverence that normally floods these halls. Instead, there is an unfamiliar resonance, a calm that borders on defiance. The council speaker, an immense figure draped in ceremonial light, watches the humans with interest. The speaker has presided over the arrival of countless species, and always the pattern had remained the same, but this day feels different. A thread has been pulled in the fabric of tradition, and the air itself seems to vibrate with the tension of change. As the humans move to the central dais, the murmur of voices grows louder. Some argue that this is nothing more than pride, a fragile species trying to appear strong. Others whisper that perhaps humanity has come under the influence of forces unknown. Still others wonder aloud if these newcomers even understand the magnitude of the gift that is about to be offered yet. Beneath all these words lies a deeper emotion. 1. The council is not used to feeling doubt. The humans stop at the platform that rises like a pillar of light at the center of the chamber. Their leader stands at the front, a tall figure whose face shows no tremor and whose hands remain steady. The assembly leans forward, expecting finally to see a crack in the facade, yet nothing comes. No sign of weakness, no sign of off. The first time in generations the chamber is silent, not from reverence, but from something closer to anticipation. The aliens are waiting to see what will happen next, and though they do not admit it even to themselves, they are unsettled because the humans have already broken the first unspoken law. They have entered this place without surrender in their hearts. Towering beings of light-scaled warlords and crystalline thinkers lean forward as the humans take their place at the center of the hall with eyes unflinching. The dais glows beneath their feet, casting pale illumination upon their forms. The glow was designed to magnify the awe of the summoned species, to remind them they stand at the center of the galaxy. And yet the humans seem unaffected by the display. Instead, their calm presence turns the light into something different, not a reminder of power but a stage upon which defiance might be spoken. The Rockthune warlords rumble, low growls rolling from their throats. Their immense bodies shift restlessly. They have fought countless battles. Across burning deserts they have broken empires and scattered fleets, yet the stillness of the humans unsettles them more than armies ever could, because it is not bravado, it is not a show of strength, it is simply unshaken resolve, and that is a language they respect, though they will never admit it aloud. The crystalline thinkers begin to pulse with faint inner colors, signals of their rapid calculations. To them every new species is a pattern waiting to be understood. Every gesture is a variable, every word is an equation, yet the humans provide no clear formula. Their posture does not signal weakness, their silence does not signal ignorance, and so the calculations spiral without conclusion. High above the Orioth, beings of light drift in luminous waves. They have watched the rise and fall of civilizations since before Earth burned its first fires. Their kind rarely feels surprise, yet in this moment their brightness flickers and dims as if the presence of the humans strains even their timeless certainty. The insectoid hive queens exchange rippling clicks through hidden frequencies, their minds connected across a chorus of thought. They debate whether humanity is masking terror, or whether they truly feel nothing of the fear that saturates this chamber with every other species. Before them the answer does not come, and the hive falls into rare silence. The speaker watches from the throne that arcs high above the floor. The figure is vast, surrounded by threads of energy that shift with every breath. To the speaker, the chamber has always been predictable. It has always followed the rhythm of submission, but today the rhythm falters. The humans stand as if the weight of the galaxy is no burden at all. Every eye is locked upon them. Every thought spins around their stillness. The council waits for a sign, for a tremor in the hand or a flicker in the eye, yet no such sign arrives. Instead, the humans remain as they were, unbending, unbowed. In that stillness lies the first spark of fear, not the fear of humanity, but the fear of what humanity represents. For if a young species from a small blue planet can look upon the endless power of the council and remain unbroken, then perhaps the order of the galaxy is not as eternal as everyone believed. The council speaker offers promises of technology, cures for disease, faster ships, and endless knowledge if only humanity agrees to obey the laws of the stars. The voice of the speaker rolls through the chamber, amplified by the resonance of the ancient walls. It is a sound designed to inspire wonder and submission, layered with harmonics that reach into the mind. Yet the humans stand without flinching, their faces still calm, their eyes unwavering. The words fall upon them like waves upon offer is magnificent beyond measure. Fleets that can cross the galaxy in days, energy drawn from the heart of stars, cures for every plague and every weakness, knowledge that could propel Earth thousands of years into the future. All of it laid out like a treasure hoard waiting to be claimed, all of it offered freely in exchange for one condition: that humanity surrender its freedom to the council and accept its place beneath the ancient order. Delegates shift in their seats as the promises pour forth. Some watch with hunger, imagining the chaos of Earth tamed by the laws of the stars. Others watch with suspicion, wondering if perhaps this bold species will resist even such irresistible gifts. The Rockthune warlords clench their claws, for they know power always has a price, and the crystalline thinkers hum with bright inner light as they calculate probabilities. spinning endless equations of what will follow. The chamber glitters with projections as the speaker conjures visions of what could be shown above. The humans appear images of cities remade in crystal and light towers, rising higher than mountain ships that pierce the void faster than thought oceans. Cleansed skies, unclouded bodies healed from every sickness, death itself delayed, perhaps even defeated. The crowd gasps at the visions, yet the humans show no sign of wonder. Their gaze does not break, their stance does not shift. The insectoid queens release a chorus of soft clicks, debating across their hive minds why this species shows no reaction. Perhaps they do not understand, perhaps they are too primitive to grasp the scale of the offer. But then the Orioth, beings of light, speak with voices that echo across the chamber, reminding all that even the youngest of species can feel when the weight of history presses upon them, and the humans feel it, yet refuse to bend. The speaker continues speaking with practiced authority, reminding humanity of the danger of isolation, reminding them that no race survives alone in the galaxy, reminding them that without the protection of the Council they may be crushed by powers beyond their comprehension. The words grow heavier like chains of sound forged to bind the will of any who listen. Yet in the center of the chamber the humans remain silent, their stillness a defiance stronger than any speech. And as the last echo of the speaker fades across the vaulted chamber, a strange unease spreads through the assembly, for the pattern has not been followed, and something new, something unpredictable has begun. The chamber waits for gratitude, yet the humans remain silent. Their stillness, spreading unease like a shadow across the brilliant chamber, is a silence that grows heavier with every passing second, the kind of silence that begins as a pause, then becomes a question, then transforms into a weight that presses upon every mind within the chamber. Alien delegates, who have lived for centuries, find themselves shifting in their seats, uncertain of what they are witnessing, for this moment does not belong to the Council, as it always has. It belongs instead to the quiet defiance of humanity. The speaker watches carefully, the tones of authority still echoing in the air, yet receiving nothing in return. The great offers of power, knowledge, and longevity hang like stars suspended above the humans, waiting to be claimed. But the humans do not reach upward, their hands remain at their sides, their eyes locked on the assembly. Rockthune warlords rumble low in their throats, unsettled by the lack of reaction. They understand warriors who roar at the sight of challenge, they understand enemies who show rage, they even understand the broken who fall to their knees. But this silence is alien to them, more alien than any species they have fought. Upon their burning sands the crystalline thinkers pulse in faint, discordant colors. Unable to reduce this moment to a predictable formula, their endless calculations return only uncertainty. The upper reaches the Orioth, beings of light, dim slightly, as though the silence draws even their eternal radiance into question. They whisper across wavelengths too high for most to hear, wondering if perhaps this is not silence at all, but a kind of unspoken declaration that words are unnecessary when will alone is enough. The insectoid hive queens shiver their antennae, twitching, their shared chorus filled with unease. They sense no fear, scent no surrender, yet the absence of these signals leaves them with nothing to measure, and nothing is always dangerous. The chamber had always been a place of spectacle. Each new species was dazzled, broken, awed into obedience. Yet the humans do not bow, they do not plead, they do not tremble. Instead, they let the weight of their silence reshape the air itself, until even the ancient stones of the chamber seemed to vibrate with tension. The offers of the Council begin to feel less like gifts and more like chains waiting to be fastened around wrists that will not extend. Whispers begin to rise among the delegates. Some mutter that the humans are fools, others insist they must be planning some elaborate ruse. Still others argue that this calm is not natural, that perhaps Earth hides some secret power. But no whisper can undo the truth unfolding before them. The humans are not reacting because they have already made their choice. The speaker raises one luminous hand as if to summon another round of persuasion, yet pauses for the first time in memory, uncertain of what words might break this silence that has already become more powerful than any speech. At last the human leader speaks, declaring that Earth will not trade freedom for gifts, nor accept chains disguised as generosity. The words fall into the chamber like stones cast into still water. The ripples reach every corner of the vast hall, and for a moment there is no sound, no movement, only the echo of defiance, carried across ancient walls that have never heard such a declaration before. The humans do not shout, they do not plead, they simply speak with calm conviction, and that calm cuts sharper than any roar of rebellion. The speaker does not answer at once. The vast figure sits frozen upon the throne, threads of energy flickering uncertainly around its form. For countless ages the council has given gifts in exchange for obedience, and never once has the offer been refused. Never once has a species dared to stand at the center of the chamber and say, "No." Rukthun warlords erupt first, their guttural voices booming across the tiers. They call the humans arrogant fools. They claim no fragile creatures of flesh can stand alone against the storms of the galaxy, yet their anger carries a strange undertone, a flicker of something almost like respect. Though buried beneath their fury, the crystalline thinkers flare with fractured colors, their equations collapse under the weight of the unexpected. There is no formula for this response, no precedent, no path to predict what humanity will do. Next, high above the Oriath, beings of light shift in patterns of unease, their brightness flickering as they speak in long-forgotten harmonics. Some among them whispered that this defiance is dangerous, that it will spread like a fire across the stars. Others whisper that it is necessary, that the galaxy has grown stagnant under endless submission, and perhaps this young species carries a flame that was always meant to burn. The insectoid hive queens stir their antennae, quivering, their shared chorus erupts in chaotic debate. Some voices demand immediate containment of this threat. Others murmur that humanity has shown a strength that might one day rival the greatest of empires. Their chorus fractures in ways it has never done before, and the disruption of unity unsettles them deeply. The human leader does not waver, their voice steady as they speak of sovereignty, of freedom, of the right of every world to choose its own path. They say humanity will walk among the stars, but not as servants, not as subjects. They will walk as equals, or not at all. The words hang in the air, like a challenge cast across the galaxy. Delegates stare in disbelief. Some with outrage, some with fear, and some with something more dangerous, curiosity. The silence that follows is no longer heavy with expectation, it is heavy with the weight of a new reality, for the council has been refused, and the echo of that refusal will travel far beyond the chamber, carried on every tongue across every world. The hall erupts, some alien voices roar in anger, others gasp in disbelief, while a few watch with quiet fascination at the audacity of a species so young. The silence that had held the chamber shatters into chaos. The warlords of Rokthun slam their armored fists against the stone, their voices booming through the tiers as they call for the immediate subjugation of Earth, to crush the rebellion before it spreads. Their scales shimmer with rage, and yet behind their fury lingers the glimmer of something they rarely give admiration for, strength unshaken even in the face of doom. The crystalline thinkers flare with jagged light patterns, their equations colliding in chaotic bursts. They argue among themselves in tones of shifting resonance, some insisting that humanity must be studied for its defiance, some declaring that unpredictability is too dangerous to permit. They cannot resolve the paradox of a young species refusing gifts beyond measure, and so their light fractures like glass under strain. High above the Oriath, beings of light twist in shimmering arcs, their harmonics resonating in confusion. Some flicker with outrage, declaring humanity reckless and foolish. Others glow brighter with approval, whispering across ancient frequencies that perhaps this was always meant to happen, that perhaps a race was destined to refuse and awaken something the galaxy had forgotten. The insectoid hive queens stir restlessly, their antennae sweeping the air, their chorus a storm of clicks and vibrations echoing across the chamber. Some demand swift eradication, others urge caution, whispering that humanity must be tested further before judgment is cast. But the chorus cannot find unity, and their disharmony rattles. Even the council floor delegates from lesser worlds shout across the chamber, their voices layering into a storm of sound. Some plead for restraint, some beg for force, others simply sit, frozen, unable to believe what they have witnessed. The chamber that once represented order and inevitability now trembles with disarray, as the words of one human ripple outward to shake the foundations of galactic law. The speaker raises a hand woven in light threads of energy flaring, as it demands silence, yet even the authority of the speaker struggles to pierce the storm. The uproar grows. The chamber no longer feels like a sanctuary of wisdom, but like an arena where the future itself is fighting to take shape, and in the center of it all, the humans remain steady, their faces calm, as though the storm around them is nothing more than wind against stone. Among the uproar, a few silent watchers sit unmoved, a handful of races who have long waited for change. Their eyes gleam with quiet wonder, for they see, in humanity, not just defiance but possibility. They see the spark that might ignite an age. No council could ever control. The uproar does not end, it builds and builds, yet the humans do not waver, and in that refusal lies a power the council cannot yet measure, a power that frightens even the oldest stars. Without hesitation the humans rise and walk away, leaving their seats empty. As the council struggles to comprehend what has just unfolded, the chamber is still shaking with the echoes of uproar, when the human leader turns and begins to walk toward the path of light that had carried them into the hall. The rest of the delegation follows, each step calm and unhurried, their movements steady against the storm of voices that rages around them. They do not look back, they do not bow, they do not falter. The speaker calls out, its voice layered with harmonics that have swayed entire civilizations, yet the words fall flat against the humans. They continue forward, as though the command carries no weight, as though the power of the council itself has been stripped of meaning in their presence. The luminous hand of authority is raised, yet the humans do not stop. The Rakthun warlords roar for the guards to seize them, their claws slash at the air, but the guards do not move. Hesitation binds their limbs, for no order has ever been given in such circumstances before. The crystalline thinkers flare with panicked light, their voices cascading into fragmented equations, trying to compute what humanity has set into motion, their minds grasping for a thread that does not exist. High above the Oriath beings of light shimmer with unease, their voices weave across the chamber, questioning whether history itself has been broken. They wonder aloud if the humans carry within them a destiny that no council can contain. The insectoid hive queens twitch in chaos, their chorus torn between shrieks for punishment and whispers of caution. The fracture in their unity deepens with every passing moment. The humans step upon the platform of light, and the ancient mechanisms respond without hesitation, lifting them slowly upward toward the opening that had once felt like an honor, and now feels like a battlefield. Their figures ascend in silence, their faces resolute, their posture unbent, while the galaxy watches with disbelief. The delegates cry out in fury and shock. Some rise from their seats, others pound upon the stone. Others slump in silence, unable to comprehend what they have seen. The chamber that had always been the stage of submission now bears witness to something no one expected, a refusal so complete that not even the weight of 1,000 civilizations could halt it. The platform nears the opening. A hush begins to settle, not from peace but from the realization that nothing will stop them now. The humans walk out from the chamber of the council not as supplicants but as equals who denied the throne, and in their leaving they carve a wound in the pride of the galaxy. The speaker remains frozen, threads of light flickering. In uncertainty, for the first time in ages, the throne feels fragile, as if the very foundation of authority has cracked, and in that fracture, the image of humanity remains burning, unyielding, unforgettable. The Galactic Council is left stunned as the humans return home, their refusal marking the beginning of a new era of uncertain relations across the galaxy. The story spreads, carried on whisper networks of traders, broadcast across neutral channels, sung in encrypted codes between rebel fleets, and spoken in hushed voices within the courts of kings. Never before had a species stood before the council and turned away. Never before had a people refused the treasures and protections that had bound countless civilizations to the order of the stars. The tale of humanity becomes legend, even as it is still unfolding on distant worlds. Farmers gather around old receivers to hear the news and marvel at the audacity of a race so young, yet so unyielding. Scholars in great archives recalculate histories and wonder if every tale of inevitability has been a lie. Warlords sharpen their weapons, preparing for a future where humanity might stand as rival instead of servant, and visionaries dream of alliances that could rise beyond the shadow of the council. The Rakthun warlords speak in tones of thunder. Some declare humanity reckless fools who will be destroyed in their first real war, yet others whisper with grudging respect that perhaps these humans are kindred spirits, for only those who value freedom above survival could show such defiance, and the Rakthun know that spirit better than most. The crystalline thinkers record endless streams of fractured light, trying to reconcile the paradox of refusal. They speak of equations that cannot be balanced, of variables that cannot be contained. Humanity has become an anomaly in their perfect systems, a problem with no solution, and that very fact gnaws at their collective minds like an itch that will never heal. The Oriath beings of light drift in contemplation, their harmonics somber yet tinged with curiosity. Some declare humanity a danger to the stability of the galaxy. Others declare them a necessary spark to awaken what has long been dormant. They remember ages when fire and defiance shaped the stars, and they wonder if that age might return through the will of a single small world. The insectoid hive queens retreat into their collective song, their unity shaken, their chorus no longer perfectly aligned. Some voices cry for extermination. Others hum with fascination, and a few whisper quietly that the humans must not be destroyed but watched, for they may be the future. Meanwhile, upon Earth, the human leader returns not with treasures or advanced machines, but with something greater, a victory of spirit. The people hear the story, and stand taller. The skies above their cities seem wider, the oceans deeper, the stars brighter. For the first time humanity feels not small before the galaxy, but immense, unbroken, a force that even the greatest council could not command. And so the legend begins, the day when the council was stunned and humanity refused, a choice that will echo across generations, a story not of submission, but of defiance, a story that has already begun to reshape the fate of every world in the galaxy.